Hi. Many people have asked me to correct more anti-net neutrality videos, and the most popular name requested was a YouTuber named Steven Crowder. Overall, Crowder's video is extremely misleading, but what I like about Crowder's video is the fact that he isn't attempting to play the pseudo-networking expert game, which made his video much more reasonable. Let's begin.
Here's some of the things that people claim with net neutrality. We need net neutrality because there aren't enough ISP choices, internet service providers. And the market, as I said, they don't have, it only has power if there are enough choices. Okay. Yeah. Do you know who actually would most benefit and most love to see net neutrality repealed? Small rural ISPs. That's something a lot of people don't talk about.
This is all 100% true, but Crowder does not explain why this is the case, so this claim is somewhat misleading. The reason why small ISPs benefit the most from a lack of net neutrality is due to the fact that small rural areas are less likely to have more than one internet service provider. If an ISP has a monopoly over internet service within a small region, this is a problem regardless of how small the ISP is. The issue here is not large corporations versus small corporations, it's ISPs owning monopolies over internet service. Crowder brings up the common claim that net neutrality is important due to a lack of competition, then brings up the fact that smaller rural areas will benefit from the removal of net neutrality, but this is extremely misleading due to the fact that smaller providers will benefit from a closed internet for the exact same reason large providers will. A lack of competition, so Crowder's point is redundant. This is a textbook example of a half-truth. Crowder provides half the story, then uses this half of the story as a premise with which to construct a conclusion.
In Comcast, AT&T, it's easy to talk about big, evil corporations and not talk about the smaller companies that would stand to benefit. So net neutrality can really harm smaller ISPs. Under net neutrality, there's actually this article from Fast Company, and this is what they write about. They write about a company. What's the name of the company? I think it's
Cable One. Cable One.
Cable One, yep. Right? So they talk about Cable One covering being the only option, right, for broadband in rural areas. Okay. And so this is an article that they write about. They talk about how if they were regulated under Title II as telecommunication companies, well, the government would actually be able to set the rates.
Well, if a blog article says that the government can set the rates, then it must be true. You have convinced me that Title II net neutrality befits this universe. Random blog articles are not sources. Rather than reading what blogs say, read what the actual fucking legislation says. Let's take a look at page 12 of the Title II net neutrality legislation in question. Today, our forbearance approach results in over 700 codified rules being inapplicable, a light touch approach for the use of Title II. This includes no unbundling of facilities, no tariffing, no rate regulation, and no cost accounting rules, which results in a carefully tailored application of only those Title II provision found to directly further the public internet in an open internet and more, better, and open broadband. I think you owe it to your audience to fact-check the articles you stumble upon on the internet before passing them around like fucking pamphlets. Anyways, I will provide a link to the entire document in the description.
Under net neutrality, as we have them now, ISPs have to submit proposals for any new technology, or I think it's new technology or business model. This is the exact quote. So on top of all the red tape, right, and all of the costs.
You probably hear this claim a lot.
Since net neutrality was reclassified under Title II in 2015, ISP infrastructure investment rates have dropped.
This claim is actually 100% true, so let's take a look at the actual data. This is ISP infrastructure investment rates from 1994 to 2017. This line is the point in time when net neutrality was reclassified under Title II. Holy fucking shit, they were correct all along. Infrastructure investments have slowed down. Title II net neutrality is sending the USA back into the fucking Bronze Age. It's eating away at the internet like a flesh-eating disease. We must slay this monstrosity before it destroys the entire planet.
It's basically an intergalactic invasion into this space through people.
Anyways, do I believe that this decrease in infrastructure innovation is reason enough to remove one of the most vital functions of the internet? Not quite.
So this goes back to kind of telecom communication companies, right? Title II, regulating them like that. A lot of people have talked about regulating YouTube and Facebook and Twitter as telecommunication companies under Title II. And I've defended them and said, no, I don't think that anyone should force them to treat content equally.
I agree. YouTube can do anything they want with their own content. They are a privately owned internet entity. What net neutrality will do is prevent ISPs from throttling privately owned internet entities like YouTube. YouTube is free to censor or throttle their own content as they see fit. Net neutrality means that Verizon is not free to throttle YouTube's content as Verizon sees fit.
So another claim that we hear a lot is if we repeal net neutrality, there will be separate packages, right? This is what Philip DeFranco, a lot of people talk about. Internet access, video streaming, emails, that'll be split up, that they'll be throttled, right? This is a slippery slope without a lot of support. There are only 2 instances, and they're a little more complicated than people let on. I think it was Comcast with Netflix, and AT&T hit a huge...
The package system Crowder is talking about is when ISPs charge you access to websites on the internet in the same way your cable company charges you for TV channels.
But all of that was corrected, not because of legislation, but because it was immediately made public, and it was so toxic that people started dropping their plans.
The market was pissed.
The market was pissed.
The packages which exist in countries with closed internet were implemented incrementally over very long time spans. Typically, an ISP will charge an extra 40 cents or so for full access to certain sites, which isn't something which will scare people off to another ISP. So other ISPs adopt similar charges. Then suddenly all ISPs are charging about 40 cents for various websites. Until another ISP says, "Fuck it!" and starts charging 80 cents. This cycle repeats, and the internet starts to spiral into this direction year after year. ISPs can adopt these changes in the free market without scaring customers away, as we see in countries with closed internet. So we cannot discount the actual chronology involved with how packages become a reality. Now is a good time for me to bring up IPTV, since it is very much related to how net neutrality benefits consumers. IPTV provides an open internet-based cable connection which provides every TV channel from every country at any time. So it's no wonder why this service is becoming so popular. People are sick of shitty cable plans which offer a small selection of TV channels for terrible prices, and they want the freedom to watch whatever they want without having cable companies dictate what they can watch. It's for this reason internet users want Title II net neutrality. Internet users don't want their internet service to be in the slightest way similar to cable plans. Where the fuck are the new cable companies offering 100% access to all TV channels for a fixed price? They don't exist because it's more profitable to slightly undercut the offerings of larger cable companies, and the same applies to internet service. Nearly every major country in the world has Title II net neutrality because they understand the value of an open internet. I just haven't seen sufficient evidence which suggests that doing nothing will allow the problem to prevent itself.
The market was pissed. Mobile data plans, remember how they used to be so extremely limited? They were and people now are fearing that broadband packages will be like that without net neutrality. Because now mobile plans are unlimited with faster and faster speeds thanks to a free market.
Crowder is correct that unlimited data is available on mobile phone plans, but mobile phone companies have replaced data limits with limits on guaranteed transfer speeds. Verizon's unlimited internet plans, for example, offer full speed for only the first 22 gigabytes of data. Then your speed is nerfed to death per gigabyte of usage thereafter. So why did unlimited mobile phone plans vanish and suddenly come back to life? Time for an IT history lesson. The story goes like this. Once upon a time some fucking imbeciles decided to start signing up to unlimited mobile data plans to use their phones as public hotspots. Why did they do this? I have no fucking idea, but this effectively used up terabytes of bandwidth over short periods of time, and due to the limits on how much traffic mobile phone networks can handle, mobile phone companies had no choice but to get rid of unlimited usage plans. But these mobile companies devised a plan.
What if we provide unlimited usage, but we slow down internet speeds after each 20 gigabytes used? Then those cocksucking public hotspots will only work for a limited amount of time.
Then boom. Unlimited usage is back. The marketing tactic worked as sales for unlimited plans skyrocketed, and it seems this marketing trick worked on Crowder as well. Once again, Crowder provides half the story, then continues to reach a conclusion based on a half-truth. Either he is completely ignorant about how mobile data plans work, or he's being intentionally dishonest. I just don't understand how somebody with 1 million subscribers and a whole team of researchers can make such a massive error like this.
Where have you seen more competition? Where have you seen your rates become more competitive, your plan become better? Your mobile data plan or broadband?
I'm assuming the answer to this rhetorical question is broadband. I don't understand how unlimited mobile plans make mobile plans better than broadband, since traditional broadband offers unlimited data plans at vastly superior speeds. In fact, mobile broadband is practically null in comparison to what broadband can offer. But wait a minute. Crowder asked, which one has improved the most over the years, not which one is better, so I guess mobile plans win in this regard. But mobile phone technology is a much younger technology, and this inevitably leads to faster advancement over time, which is especially true when Moore's law is applied to tiny devices like mobile phones. Anyways, I'm going off topic, so let's get back to Crowder's video.
Another claim that we hear a lot is that we have to have net neutrality because big evil corporations. People think, well, because a big company supports it, it must be bad. But then there's another big company that supports it. And in this case, you have the world's biggest companies in Google and Facebook.
Companies like Google and Facebook support net neutrality because they do not want companies like Verizon to be gatekeepers between Google customers and Google services. Google doesn't want to deal with this, despite the fact that without net neutrality they could blow ISPs and slow down their competition. This is a testament to how much power ISPs would gain over online entities without net neutrality. It's also a testament to how much power ISPs will gain over the average Joe who wants to use Google's services.
Why is Google, YouTube, and Facebook, why are these giant companies so adamant about supporting net neutrality? Here's something else crazy. Big companies like Google, they're not really customers of ISPs. They connect directly to the web, directly through internet exchange points.
Well, that's not quite accurate, but you're closer to the target than somebody else I know.
Netflix buys data from Verizon so that Netflix can actually be on the internet. And then you pay so that you have access to Netflix.
So it doesn't directly affect them.
The fact that Google isn't a Verizon subscriber doesn't mean they are not directly affected by net neutrality. I hear this a lot. People love to point out that Google, Amazon, Twitter, and Facebook support net neutrality as if they have discovered the origins of the fucking universe. Gee. I wonder why companies who rely on online customers to survive are supporting internet freedom. I'm so fucking baffled by this question.
So it doesn't directly affect them. But you'd be hard-pressed to find people who would support regulating YouTube, Google, certainly small government libertarians as a telecommunications company under the guidelines that would basically force them to allow all content to be uploaded and distributed equally.
Putting YouTube and Facebook under Title II regulation has absolutely nothing to do with net neutrality. If YouTube believes that puppy videos are an abomination and introduce the thou shalt not upload thy puppy policy, that's their fucking right. This has absolutely nothing to do with net neutrality as it pertains to internet service. Pointing out that Title II would be a bad idea when applied to other things is not a valid argument against the effectiveness of Title II being applied to internet service providers. That's like saying that eating soup with a spoon is a bad idea because a spoon sucks at cutting bread. Title II is a tool which is useful in some areas and useless in others. The point here is that Title II is indeed useful when applied to internet service providers. Whether Title II is useful or useless when applied to hairdryer companies or the chocolate dildo factory is completely irrelevant.
But I would support, and this is a big step for a libertarian, small government libertarian like me, under Title II, if we agree to transparency laws, which is a big part of the repealing of net neutrality right now. It's, okay, listen, first off, there are still antitrust laws, there are still monopoly laws, so if you're to throttle, which you're not supposed to do, you have to let your customer base know.
The transparency Crowder is referring to is within the new 2017 FCC closed internet regulation, which demands that providers must be transparent about what they throttle. In other words, they need to hide some fine print on page 3 million of their terms of service which nobody reads, and they must vaguely explain their throttling process. Excellent. That will surely fix the problem of throttling. Excuse me while I go kill myself.
I would not support regulating YouTube, Facebook, Google under Title II if it's, you have to treat all content equally.
Right.
But I would support putting them under that kind of regulation if it just means that they have to be transparent.
Every website already throttles their content. This is a rudimentary aspect of managing any online service. What net neutrality will do is prevent internet service providers from throttling websites. Websites throttling their own content has nothing to do with anything.
Basically, the government is a referee at that point. The government is a referee with its whistle saying, hey, you're breaking the rules there. We're going to put you in the penalty box.
I have no idea what this means.
On the other hand, you have a fence right here, right? You have a line. So people talking about evil corporations
that turn the friggin' frogs gay.
You'd have people lining up to say, let's apply those standards to YouTube or Facebook. No. Let's not do that. Let's look at the evil cell phone companies who gave you unlimited data.
Do you understand that? Turn the friggin' frogs gay. Serious crap.